Welcome to the channel. So we're going to discuss why it is that you probably feel stuck with your money at this point in time. And this is something that I feel needs to be addressed and prioritized in 2026, because if you feel like this is a really big action point and something you need to pay attention to. Now, why is this something that we're talking about in this video? Well, we're at the end of 2025. People are going to start thinking about New Year's resolutions now. And come January, people will have racked up some Christmas debt because they bought Christmas gifts on possible credit card or overdraft. And they'll be finding ways to perhaps improve their finances for the new year. And I believe that this is fundamentally the first place you should start. If you feel like you're stuck when it comes to your money right now, your money isn't going further enough. Now, what I'm going to do is literally just walk you through my thought process and how I approach this idea of making my money go as far as I possibly can by having controls. And this has transformed my financial landscape immeasurably over the past 10 years. And I hope by sharing this, you'll have a few light bulb moments. Now, the reason why this has come about is because this week I launched a prize draw. And this prize draw is in exchange for you filling out a survey where I'm trying to understand people's money and financial habits. And what I'm seeing in that survey very early on is people say that they're very confident or confident-ish when it comes to budgeting. But later on in the survey, I'm seeing there being a conflict in that response to the question. And so something somewhere is amiss. And I feel like if you're in that situation at the minute where you feel like you've got good control, but then you're struggling in other areas, for example, you haven't got an emergency fund, or, there are certain things that are tripping you up, this is going to be worthwhile watching. Now, if you do get value from this, I'd appreciate you considering to subscribe to this video. And if you do pick up something, also consider smashing that like button as well, just a signal to the YouTube algorithm that you got some benefit from this as well. And by the way, if you want to partake in the survey, I'm giving away £100 in a cash prize draw to one lucky person. You have up until the end of Christmas Day to fill in the survey. I will then pick a winner at random and email that person within 7 days of the survey closing and hopefully get £100 in your pocket. If you do take part, thank you and good luck in advance. Now, let's just jump over to the scribe, because I think this is where I want to kind of spend most of my time. Now, I think people will agree that there is a lot of pressure on your income at this point in time, right? Because let's face it, your income is your primary financial resource, right? And this year we have seen continued cost of living crisis with inflation, cost of bills, energy going up. And in the autumn statement, we've also seen that because of the income thresholds being frozen till 2030, that you're going to be paying more taxes as you get pulled into a higher tax bracket if you're getting bonuses or you're getting pay rises. And so I think for the foreseeable future, at least, there are going to be more demands on your income. And this is where control is really important. Now, what I often see people or hear people say is, well, just pay yourself first. And I think this is a mantra that you should absolutely live by, because it is true. You need to prioritize the idea of paying yourself first, putting some money aside to ensure that you're able to use that for something. But this is what I often find when I work with people with that mantra. You have to be intentional even around that. And so what I want to do is we'll come back to this point right here. Let's just asterisk it up there and talk about your income pool. All right. So we know that this money has to go into many things. It's got to pay for your bills. It's got to pay for your car. It's got to pay for childcare. It's got to pay for food. It's got to pay for energy. It's got to pay for so much. And for a lot of people, they feel stretched at this point in time, or pinched, I should say, because this income doesn't seem to be going far enough. Now, often what we will do is we will talk about having some kind of financial structure. So this is where your budgeting comes in and understanding, okay, I've got X amount coming in, X amount going out. And that hopefully gives you an idea of where this income is being dispersed to and where you're actually spending that money. Now, having a budget is 100% important, but you have to have a budget that works for you, and you have to have a budget that is intentional. Now, let's just think about what typically happens to people and people's expenses on a monthly basis. And I put this in brackets right here. in a circle, I should say, right here, because this often is the biggest negative that people carry. Now, what is this? This is debt. Consumer debt. This will be credit cards, overdrafts, personal loans, car finance, so on and so forth. And I'm not saying here that you absolutely need to eradicate all of your debt, or, well, you should really, where you can, eradicate all of your debt. But what I'm trying to say here is that for a lot of people, I will appreciate and I can completely understand that if you want to buy a car, you're probably going to have to take this thing out on car financing unless you have the cash there to actually buy it yourself. And unfortunately, where we are at the moment, a lot of people aren't there. But what we're finding is, in the UK at least, our income to debt ratios on a household basis, it's absolutely dreadful. We are overstretched, over leveraged on how much we earn versus the debt that we hold. And the reason why this is in red is because this is one of the biggest drains that you can possibly have on your income. And if you have this, it is severely going to impact what you're going to be able to do within your budgeting structure itself. Because ultimately, what you want from your income is you want to be able to have your income influenced by your budget, and then your money dispersed into things like your emergency fund, which will give you things like security, that sense of financial stability, and then your ability to actually invest for the future. So you've got emergency fund here, and you got investments up here. And this is something else that has come out in the survey. People really feeling as though this is not something they're able to do. And this is something we're going to be addressing in the community that I've got launching in 2026. So as you can see here, this is the ideal circle. Let me just do this again in black. So you're going to have your budget. Yes, it pays for all of your bills, but after all of that is said and done, you're able to build yourself a financial buffer, and then you're going to be able to also invest for the future so that your money actually goes further for you and actually starts to grow and create wealth for the future. But here's the kicker though. A lot of people find an interruption in this loop. Why? Because there's a lot of money going here. And that is problematic. Now again, debt can be a necessary part of your financial landscape. But whilst it can be a necessary evil, it should not be the evil that disrupts this cycle right here. Because this cycle is how you feel financially stable. So what I often find when I work with people, and I've certainly seen this in the New Year's cohorts that I've run with my program, which will be launching in January, is a lot of people come into the cohorts, and this is one of the main issues that they're struggling with. If they have credit card debt, they have personal loans, they have car debt, and these things, a combination of all of these things, is stripping out £300, £400 per month. Meaning that you're having to allocate out of your earnings, by the way, £300, £400 into debt repayments that could be used to either go here or here to help you build for the future. And just take a moment to pause for a moment, okay, and just think about this. Because just think about how better you would feel if the £300 to £400, whatever it is that you're paying on your debt repayments right now, went into building an emergency fund. So if anything happened, you weren't able to work, you want to quit your job, you hate your job, you've got 6 months, 9 months runway to say, you know what, I've had enough. I'm going to pursue something that is more aligned with my own passions. You're going to try and find your dream job or start your own business, pursue something that you care about. Or simply if you are unable to work for 6 months or 9 months due to health issues or because you lost your job, it gives you that breathing room to not be desperate to have to take another job, and that potentially is a job that is worse than the one you left before, and you're stuck in this vicious cycle. You know, money has a huge impact on everything that we do. You need money for early retirement. You need money to buy your first home. You need money to go on holiday. You need money to spend more time with family. There isn't much that money does not influence or touch in some way, shape, or form. And I think for me, one of the biggest things that we'll be focusing on in the community is, yes, we're going to be talking about all of this stuff because it's interconnected. But what do you want out of life? Do you want to be stuck in a 9 to 5 cycle where you hate your boss? You don't want to go to work. You don't really necessarily feel motivated. You wish that you could start your own business, but you don't have the financial buffer to be able to do that. Now, if you're paying whatever it is that you're paying on your debt repayments, and that's money that's going to that facility, that's an instant roadblock to you being able to pursue what it is that you want to pursue. So if we can remove this from the equation, what happens is you now have more of your income available to funnel into whatever it is that you want. And this is where I'm probably going to add to this cycle, because potentially what you could have here is, once this is actually gone, you might have another box here, which could be for things like, I don't know, holidays, for example. It could be assigned to anything that you want. But you now have whatever it is that you're paying on your debt repayments, your £300 to £400 now going into something like this. And that right there gives you a sense of fulfillment, a sense of stability, a sense of security. And this is one of the things that I feel is often amiss in the conversations that we have today around money and this whole idea of building wealth. I feel like this word has become a buzzword. What does it actually really mean? I mean, honestly, what does it actually really mean? People talk about building wealth. What does it mean? I think what a lot of people actually mean when they talk about building wealth is actually having stability. And guess what? You can't build wealth, without actually having any stability at all. If you're struggling paycheck to paycheck right now, how are you going to build wealth? Let's come back up here. This is one of the big things that people are responding in the survey. They want to know how to invest. They don't feel that they have the ability to invest for the long term. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, how exactly are you going to start investing for the future so you have a chance of actually doing that? So there are things that come before building wealth that you have to put in place. And the thing that everyone does not talk about enough is stability. You need to make sure that you are financially stable to be in the best position possible to invest and to build wealth, to acquire assets that will appreciate in value and give you choices when you're a little bit older. We're missing a huge gap. People want to go from step one here, boom, all the way up there, which is the way of the world. We want results fast, whereas oftentimes we have to focus on the journey here. And in the community in the new year, this is what we're going to be helping people do. Like, really take action, really understand what the process is for them, looking at the fundamental blocks and making sure that we get the foundations in place first. This has kind of transformed the way I think about my own finances and how I've structured my finances over the past 10 years. As I previously mentioned, I don't have any consumer debt. I've got a little bit of mortgage debt. That's it. I've not had a credit card, personal loan, car finance in a very long time now. What that means is that for me, especially in the beginnings of running my own business, let me just go full screen here. In the beginnings of running my own business, it meant that I had the ability to have runway to support myself financially, to make this even viable as a business, as a job. And I love my job now. It's been a gateway for me to be able to open up opportunities. And that's what I want for other people as well in 2026. We need to call time on the excuses, on I'm too busy, on I don't know how to do this, so I'll pick this up later on procrastination. We need to call time on that, and we need to be really intentional in 2026 because things aren't going to get better and time is of the essence. You can't afford to waste time. And so the community that I'm looking to build is going to be for people who are doers, who are go-getters, who want to fix the financial landscape, who are going to put in the work as well. Later on the channel, and probably in the new year, I'll maybe provide some sneak previews of what we're going to have in the community specifically. But what we're talking about today on, the budgeting side of your income is really the foundation to all of this, but you need to be anchored into the right thing. And this is where it brings me back to this whole idea of pay yourself first. Like I've already said, this is a very, very, very good idea, but you need to have intent attached to this. And oftentimes when I work with people one-on-one, they'll say they're doing this, but there is no real intent to it. Why is intent important? Because intent is going to keep you on track. It's going to keep you laser focused, and it's actually going to give you direction. If you're paying yourself first, where is it going? Where does it sit? Where should it sit? What is the right vehicle to use? Well, that is dependent on the intent, the purpose, the goal. And again, in the modules that we're building in the community, we have module 0, which is going to be a reset module. It's all about getting to know you and understanding what your intent is, so that when we're building through the module, laying the foundations, we have something to anchor into around what your goal is. So if it's buying your first home, that's your anchor. That informs everything else that comes and the decisions that you make in terms of where you position money if you carry that philosophy of paying yourself first. I hope you found this useful. I know that this has been a bit of a, for me at least, a thought process, right? In just sharing my own thought process. I know this stuff works because it's worked for people that I've had in cohorts on this program over the past 2 or 3 years, both in private and corporate groups. What we're trying to do in the new year is put this into a community where there's accountability, there are tools, there are work lists, short videos, things that can actually help you take action. So if you want to join the waitlist, by the way, for the community, I will leave another link in the description and pinned in the comments as well. Please consider joining the waitlist. Now, what I will say is this: there will be limited numbers available when the community actually launches in January. And that is because I do not want time wasters in there. If you're not serious about fixing your finances, don't join the waitlist. We will only open up to a small number of people to start off with in January, and then we'll have different releases throughout the rest of the year, just to make sure that we're getting everyone who joins, who goes through the community, who goes through the program that sits in the community, making sure that everybody gets the results that they're looking for and are able to hit their goals. And with regular check-ins and live sessions and all of the stuff that we've got planned, it's going to be amazing. I'm pretty confident we're going to help people transform their finances in 2026, which is the whole thing that I'm really excited about. And this is why this channel was, built in 2020. And yeah, it's taken me a while to have a signature program, but I am very, very, very excited about it. So I would love to see you in there. Please join the wait list. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did get value, please consider subscribing. And don't forget the prize draw. If you want to take the survey, it's also linked. You have up until the end of day on Christmas Day to enter. And I will select a winner at random and notify them on email. Now, I will document the entire process because I know what people are like. They're like, oh, you probably gave it to your mate. No, there's none of that, okay? It will go to a genuine person, and I'll document the entire process. Anyway, enjoy the rest of the week, whatever it is you're doing. We're actually supposed to have a rainstorm here in Dubai tomorrow, which is going to be very, very interesting. So have a good one. Catch you later.